Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Crypto Traders Room. And for a majority of you that know, the Crypto Traders Room is a place where we eat, drink, sleep, dream, trade, and invest in digital currencies. And if you're a first-time viewer, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here. And if you haven't done so already, please click on that subscribe button as well as the post notification so that you're notified every time a video has been uploaded. And feel free to stay connected with us. We are on Steemit, Twitter, as well as Facebook. And thank you to everybody that's live streaming this on Steemit, because we are simultaneously streaming this on YouTube as well as Steemit. And if you have a Steemit account, help us out by following us as well as uploading or upvoting our videos. And if you feel a little generous today and you want to help out Crypto Traders Room, there is a support this channel at the bottom of this video where you could donate Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin. So I want to thank everybody that has donated. Also, I want to thank everybody that has used our Amazon referral link. And there's been a couple of you that have used it. So thank you so much. And it doesn't cost you anything to use that Amazon link. It just kind of helps us out in earning a little bit of commission by being affiliated with them. But we also have a Purse.io affiliate link, as well as a Bitfinex link and a Coinbase link. And actually with the Coinbase one, you could actually earn $10 worth of free Bitcoin when you sign up and buy $100 worth of Bitcoin or sell $100 worth of Bitcoin. So those are there. But thank you to everybody that's joining. Sean, Sadula, Ark, Japith, I think I pronounced that right, but I probably pronounced it wrong. I'm horrible at names, guys, and I do apologize if I butcher your name. I do apologize. You're in Africa. Sweet. That's my home country. Born and raised in Africa. Got to live in a lot of places in Africa. Some of the probably most dangerous places on Earth when I was a little kid. So, yeah, I know what Africa's like, man. But welcome. I don't know what part of Africa you're in. But if you want to let me know, that'd be great. Ivan, welcome. But yeah, title of this video today, nothing but a bull trap in this market. And it is a bull trap. We are getting these little dead cat bounces, and that's basically what they're called. They're dead cat bounce, So basically, they'll drop, we'll get a nice little correction to the upside, and then they'll even fall further. So it's basically almost like a roller coaster ride that we're seeing. So for long-term investors, this could really not settle well in your stomach. It wouldn't settle well in my stomach at all either, watching this if I was a long-term investor. But for traders, this is great. Especially trying to find that bottom, trying to basically average down. This is a perfect opportunity. And of course, I didn't take advantage of this drop below 40. Unfortunately, from the last live stream, you guys know that my entry was 44 as well as 41. But I didn't take advantage of it. And I had a buy-in offer. I did have a buy-in for, let's see what it was. I probably got to exit out of here. Let's see what I had a buy-in for. 34, 33, and 29.75. So of course, it got to that $34.78, I'm going to say off the top of my head. And that was a pretty nice drop that we had. And if anybody took advantage of, getting an entry in, 34.78 is kind of hard to catch that bottom, but, anything in the 35, 35.50, possibly 36 range. Those are great entries, especially if you were to capitalize and, get in at that entry and, sell it when it got up to 42.75 or 42.50 to be able to take advantage of those nice little swings of, $7-8. And when you have those opportunities, especially in this type of market that we're in, we are in a bear market. You got to be able to take those profits and then wait for it to correct to the downside to be able to utilize the profit as well as the capital that you've had to be able to buy in a little bit more at a cheaper possible price. Andreas, welcome. Shoes Hill, welcome. 2Watt, Player Play. August James, welcome. Appreciate you guys joining. Thank you so much. Yes, Africa's a big country. Yes. Or it's a continent. I'm sorry, country. But yeah, it's a big continent. There's I was talking to somebody and I forget who it was. And I don't want to make the story long, but he was telling me he was from Chad. And I was like, Chad, where's that? And he was like, it's in Africa. And I was like, really? Chad is in Africa? And I had to actually look at the map and be like, dude, I feel so uneducated. I was born in Africa. I got the chance to travel, throughout the whole eastern part of Africa. I got the chance to live in Saudi Arabia and things like that. But yeah, I felt very dumb to not know that Chad was actually in Africa. But yeah, Africa is a big country, or continent actually. Hello from Switzerland. Yeah, let me know where you guys are from. It's always good for me to kind of have an idea of where everybody is from that's on this live stream. especially if you're a new time viewer or new to this channel. A lot of you guys, I do know where you guys are from because you're a regular on this channel, and you know, I do get a chance to converse with you either on our Slack chat or you know, through this YouTube channel when I first started YouTube. And so majority of you, I do know where you guys are from. Estonia, welcome. Croatia, welcome. That's awesome. It's great to have people from all over the world, and it just kind of shows how diverse you know, YouTube can be, and from bringing from, you know, people from all over the world into one central location. So it is definitely great. Singapore, Texas, yes indeed. Must be hot in Texas. It's hot where I'm at. The weather's not pretty at all. But let's kind of get back to you know, to some of these things, and I'll do my best to answer some of the questions that you guys do come across. But I still have my position, of course, in Litecoin that I purchased at 44 as well as 41. I am looking to kind of get rid of those, and I do have a sell order in, and I've had those in for a couple of days now, 45 and 48. And basically, what I would like to do is kind of utilize that money for some of the other things that are offered on Bitfinex, SAN, OMG. Ripple, I'm probably not going to mess with Ripple at all. IOTA, and possibly EOS. IOTA was actually pretty impressive. You know, I watched this thing go down to, you know, 15.5 cents. I didn't have any funds available, of course. You know, and it got up to basically almost 24 cents from that 15.5 cents. So I mean, those are pretty significant gains there, as well as OMG. We'll take a look at OMG real quick. OMG, I was kind of, you know, looking forward to possibly it hitting, you know, 20 cents, 15 cents, just like SAN and IOTA were. But of course, it got to 31 cents, and then it actually had a nice move up to 55. So from 31, I think it was like 31.5 cents to about 55 cents. And those are kind of the opportunities I was looking for, as long as I was able to get out of my Litecoin position. But I am currently still in that Litecoin position. Looking to add more, you know, if it drops to a price level that I'm looking at. And unfortunately, you know, I wasn't in front of my computer when she was dropping, you know, below 37, 36, 35. Wasn't in front of my computer at all to take advantage of that. And that's the problem. You know, if you don't have a low ball buy-in offer, or if you're not sitting in front of your computer, you know, it's very easy to miss some of these drops that do happen. And yeah, you know, you're not being basically positioned the right way. So, you know, the rule of thumb is always kind of having those low ball offers in, just kind of, you know, stagnate them and spread them out, just in case it does hit, you know, if it does hit my, you know, 34 average or $34 price point that I have a 25 LTC purchase for, and it ends up dipping to, let's just say, you know, 30 bucks, then at least I know that I'm gonna have another 70 executed that will lower my cost average. So it's best to kind of have, you know, different orders in at different price points, and in hopes that, you know, it does start correcting to the downside and have some of those things executed. But let's go ahead and take a look at LTC on Bitfinex, and then we can take a look at some of the other cryptocurrencies as well too. And of course, waiting for this chart to kind of load up. We'll see if it loads everything up. But we're going to go ahead and enlarge this and then kind of get rid of the RSI for right now. Yeah, and for some reason, Bitfinex has been very slow today, as well as yesterday too, for a little bit. Double wait for all of it to load up. Let's see, August James just ordered a Ledger Nano. Nice, dude. Oh, July 29th is arrival date. Yeah, that's kind of close with all the debacle that might happen. I mean, if the exchanges will allow you to move it on the 29th, yeah, I mean, you'll be lucky. But if not, then, you know, your funds might be frozen. Andreas from Portugal, sweet, welcome. Roll from Singapore, August from Chicago. Can you short on Bitfinex? Yes, you can short on Bitfinex. Let's see, you've been missing out on so much because you weren't able to short BTC multiple times. As long as you have margin activated and they activate margin for you, Max, you shouldn't have any issues at all shorting. And if you do, I would definitely reach out to support. They're actually pretty good, man. I've reached out to, you know, Bitfinex support, and they responded back within like 15 minutes. I mean, they were on point. Unlike, you know, some of the other exchanges, I won't mention their name, which it takes some weeks, possibly months, to kind of respond back to a ticket. You're on Poloniex and Bittrex. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's why I'm not really buying BTC at the current moment. You know, with all this craziness that's going to happen, you know, just in case that I don't end up getting out of my position, in time, before they end up freezing people's accounts or freezing withdrawals, whatever it might be that some of these exchanges are actually going to possibly be doing. But yeah, we got 3940 people today. So if you do find this information helpful, please click on that like button. It definitely helps out. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at LTC. And unfortunately, since I have the chart kind of enlarged, I'm not able to draw out lines, but I can exit out and then kind of get back into this. So let's go ahead and do that just real quick, just so I can plot out a couple different points here. So that 30, actually, what did it get? It got to 36 bucks. So it didn't really get to 34.78 as it did on Coinbase or GDAX. On Bitfinex, it only got up to 36 bucks. So 36 bucks is going to be basically the kind of, where it bounced from. So that's going to be the support. And the reason why it bounced from that level is because, just basically what we had happen. Let me see if I can put a line or an arrow in some of these spots. And it looks like Bitfinex is having a little bit of an issue today. So basically right up here, it bounced off that 36 bucks before it had a really nice run up to almost 55, 56 bucks. And that was on GDAX when it went up to 57.75. So that was a really nice run up that it had. And of course, that was kind of based on fake news, which Charlie Lee kind of tweeted out. He didn't hear anything about MIT working on something with LTC. And of course, that brought the price back down. So anytime there's fake news, anything that's out, people are going to hop on that type of fake news. Yeah, it's going to cause the price to go up. But I think, when Charlie Lee tweeted it out that, he had no idea what that was all about. Yeah, it definitely brought the price back down. But yeah, at that point, basically, that's why it bounced off that level, as well as this level right here too. And I'll put another arrow there at that level. So a couple of different price, points that it did bounce off from that kind of gave us a good support level. Yes, it could easily crash below that. But it didn't. So that kind of showed that there was a good support level. And I wasn't watching the price action or even watching the full order book to see, what type of buyers were stacked up at that $36 level to cause it to not crash below 36 and possibly retest, the $32 level that it actually touched right up here at this first arrow, because that low was just right about 32 bucks, 33 bucks, something to that extent there. So it's going to have a couple different resistance, if she does decide to break through, and she will break through it. Like I said, this is just a dead cat bounce. This is not, the spot where we're going to really turn around into a into a bull market, and then see a nice, jump up to the upside. Yes, you could get back up to the $50 level, but there's still going to be a lot of selling that intensifies. And with BTC's debacle, who knows? A lot of people could be piling into BTC, or I'm sorry, be piling into LTC. And if that's the case, then this is going to send the price higher. I don't think anybody's touching Ethereum right now. Not a lot of people are going to be touching BTC, especially with Ethereum having these crazy ICO bubble. And I think I've talked about it in the past. What do you think is happening with all these ICOs that are requiring Ethereum or ETH for deposit to be able to take advantage of these ICOs? They're selling those Ethereums that they receive, and they're dumping. So you have all these, administrators of ICOs, creators of these ICOs that are taking Ethereums. They're not going to hold Ethereum. They're going to dump it for fiat, and they're going to use the fiat to, hopefully improve their project and not scam everybody out of it. But yeah, Ethereum is still in trouble, and so is Bitcoin with the debacle. But I think the safest bet that we're going to possibly be in at this current moment is going to be Litecoin. I think we're safer with Litecoin. It's been somewhat steady. Yes, it is somewhat of a roller coaster ride, having a nice upticks and then kind of dipping and then running up again and dipping again. But it's a lot more safer to be in Litecoin than it is in anything else at the current moment. Let me enlarge this, and then we'll take a look at the current price action of what's happening really right now. But yeah, I forget who it was. Somebody had, on the last live stream, when I got in at 41 bucks, someone had said basically, there's a strong resistance at 42.50. And man, they were on point. And I want to give credit, where credit is due, whoever had said that. But that was huge because it got up to that 42.50-ish, and then it pulled right back. And that was right around here at this level. So I got in at 41 bucks. And this is basically, it was on Coinbase that I got in and then moved the funds over. But yeah, whoever it was, and if you're on this live stream, definitely, let me know who that was, because I definitely forgot the name and I feel bad. But yeah, they called that top right up here at 42.50. They said, there's a strong resistance at 42.50. And what do you know, it got right up to 42.50, which was my average buy-in price, considering I bought at different increments, and then it pulled right back down from that 42.50. So whoever called that, hats off to you, because you hit it on point. But yeah, let me see if I can get to some of these comments as best as I can. Yes, Max, you have to have a margin account in order to short. You cannot short without having margin activated. To my understanding right now, there is no shorting that's happening on GDAX, because really Coinbase has still disabled margin trading. So there is no shorting that's happening on GDAX at all currently at the moment, until they actually activate margin trading, and then you can short, or you can utilize margin. Yeah. August, there was something, and ECS, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you and I had a conversation about this, where Coinbase was freezing, GDAC withdrawals. Withdrawals on BTC. But I don't know what Kraken is doing, to be honest with you. I don't use Kraken, but I know Coinbase, from the conversation that I had with ECS, they are going to be freezing BTC withdrawals or transfers possibly. No, I have not heard about BTC not doing a hard fork in October, November-ish, something to that extent. And I hope they do just adapt, segregated witness. I hope they do, and I don't think we would have these crazy issues right now if they adopted segregated witness. So which cryptocurrencies are females and which are males? To me, they're all females. And somebody, it didn't come out of my mouth. So if there are any ladies on this live stream, I don't want to offend any ladies at all, because I do have, the utmost respect for any ladies that are in the cryptocurrency market. But a while back, I don't know, it might have been Rocky Mountain, it might have been Oni. They said, reason why I refer to them as she's is because they're irrational and unpredictable. But yeah, that didn't come out of my mouth at all. I don't know. I refer to cryptocurrencies as she. I don't know why. Yeah, yeah, I don't think any of them are males right now. But yeah, I always refer to them as she's. ECS, welcome, buddy. Yes, definitely a good day. Good day for this nice bounce. If anybody took advantage of LTC, BTC, even Ethereum. I mean, Ethereum got to 130. ETC or BTC got to, we'll look at it. I think it was 1850. I'll look at it on my other computer or other monitor. 1758. So yeah, from 1758 to 2090, you're looking at 300 bucks, per coin. So those are significant profits, depending on how many coins you would have purchased. But yeah, this isn't a time to kind of hold and wait for something to happen. You have those profits, you got to lock them in, because all we're getting is just basically a dead cat bounce, and that's basically all it is. It'll bounce up because there are people that think, what, this is the bottom, I'm going to take advantage of this, and they lock in those $200, $300 profits, and they move on to something else, or they wait for a correction to happen, and then they get back in. Okay, so TJ, okay, because I do remember you saying, if I move the funds over to Coinbase, then I could actually transfer it with a higher fee to get ahead of a lot of people and have that currency or that cryptocurrency transferred faster. Okay, so, but yeah, thank you for letting me know that. I haven't attempted it yet. I haven't tried it, but yeah, I guess they're not allowing that. But thank you for clarifying that. That's awesome. How low do I see F going? On the last live stream, I said, she could touch the 125. And, and if she touches 125, there's a possibility, she could hit 100. It touched 130 and kind of made it right back up to under 200. I think it was 180. 180-ish. Yeah, the problem with Ethereum right now is that it's having a hard time breaking. I mean, there's really a strong resistance at a little under $200. It's having a hard time breaking $200. If she can break $200 and just consolidate at that $200 price point, I think we could have a nice, better movement of $50 to possibly $75 to get it up to 250. But I mean, it's everybody's selling, close to that $200 price point. I mean, I don't blame them, to be honest with you. I mean, if I bought at 130 or if I bought at 140, or even, let's just say even 150, and it gets up to 200, I'm going to sell. So I don't blame them for selling. But yeah, she's got to maintain $200 and consolidate at that $200 price point, and not have a correction to the downside when she hits 200. And that's what we're seeing. Let's go ahead and take a look at the chart real quick on that. But ETC looks like, LTC looks like it's making a comeback up from that $40.45 to $41.25 on Bitfinex. But yeah, let me go ahead and minimize this. And I do have the Bitfinex chart up here. So we'll take a look at Bitfinex unless you guys want me to take a look at Coinbase. But Bitfinex, let's see. Yeah, Coinbase might be a little better, I think. Because here it's only showing that it hit 136, and it's also showing that she really didn't get up above 180. So let's go ahead and get out of this and look at Coinbase. I do have Coinbase, on my other monitors. So actually, you know what? Let me just let me switch over the screen share. All right, there's that $200 price point. So let me go ahead and put a resistance line on that. And I don't know what's going on with Crypto Watch, but it's not the way it used to be. So they completely changed a couple things up. And that's not what I want to do. I don't even have access to be able to draw out trend lines for some apparent reason. Here we go. They hit it. They hit it on me. Oh, not 220. No, we'll keep that 220 on there. But 200, basically, I mean, she consolidated nicely, after really having, let's go ahead and zoom out of this. I'll do 1 hour to get a better picture. So basically, right over here, after touching 175, made it right up to 120, 130, let's just say. But after that 130, I mean, it's just been nothing but downhill. And she did attempt to consolidate at that $200 price point, which is right over here. So let me go ahead and put a circle there. That was a nice consolidation there. I mean, she showed us that, she can consolidate. There is support. She's maintaining that $200. But yeah, just selling intensified. She came down, attempted to get right back up right at this candlestick here, and broke out above the 200 just a little bit. But it wasn't, too much of a break to kind of say, that's a great indication that, there's upward momentum. It was just basically the breaking above it, and then sellers kind of brought it back down. And then from there, it was just nothing but downhill. So, I mean, that $200 is going to be a strong resistance. And if she can get above that 200, or even, touch the 200 and consolidate sideways for a good period of time, and I'm not talking about, for 15 minutes to an hour. I mean, she needs to consolidate at that price point for a good 2 days to possibly 3 days to kind of indicate to us, okay, that's a very strong level that is showing this nice support. Until then, there's nothing pretty about this chart at all. There's nothing pretty about Ethereum. And I forget who it was, Dr. 10, I don't think you were on this live stream, but you had mentioned on the Slack chat that there were, a couple $1 million worth of Ethereums that were just stolen. So if they decide to dump those, on an exchange that you're on, that could cause a massive crash. And when we know what happens, when somebody dumps, $30 million worth of Ethereum, cause a flash crash. So they could easily cause a flash crash unless, whoever stole those coins decides, I'm going to spread out these coins, amongst, 4 or 5 different exchanges to be able to unload them that way. But if they decide to unload them all on one exchange, yeah, it's trouble on the horizon. It really is. But yeah, this is just a nice little, dead cat bounce that we're seeing. I mean, pretty significant gains of $50. I mean, those aren't bad at all. But that there's still more downside to this. And I mean, we've seen that before. She comes down, she gets back up, and then she starts breaking down again. I mean, this has happened numerous times. Right up here from 323, broke down to, let me get rid of this arrow. Broke down to 250, came right back up to almost 300, and then ever since then it's just been, continuously grinding down. I mean, this is the bear market. This is not a sudden crash that we're seeing. That's happening within an hour or 2 hours and making it right back up, and that's what we're used to seeing. We're used to seeing some of these cryptocurrencies really drop and then come right back up. Just like we're seeing right here from that 323 all the way down to 205, and then coming right back up to over 300, 327, and then crashing back down, having a nice little dead cat bounce, crashing back down. I mean, that's all that we're seeing, and that's all that we're going to continue to see. Now, how long are we going to continue to see this? My speculation is really until winter starts. Summertime volatility volume is dead. And I think, this is going to be a trend that's going to continue. It's a trend that continues within the stock market. There isn't a lot of volatility, a lot of momentum that happens in the summertime with traders going on vacation and things like that. Wintertime is really when it tends to pick up. So, I mean, it could really be November, possibly December before, we start to see a nice correction to the upside on a lot of these cryptocurrencies. Until then, I mean, it's either going to move down or move sideways. That's really all that's going to happen. We'll get a nice little bounce to the upside, and then it'll come correcting back down. So my speculation is really it's not until until summer ends. So right around mid-November, beginning of December, my speculation is when we should definitely see some sort of a turnaround in this market. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong, but that's kind of the speculation that I have. Okay, yeah. So, and sorry, I'm just getting to this message ECS, but yeah. So GDAX, and I'm assuming Coinbase as well too. They will freeze BTC withdrawals or transfers. So if you have them on those exchange, definitely get them to a hardware wallet, or the other option you're going to have is to basically sell. Is that so? Last week of July is basically, and I do remember reading something, where they said, if you're sending BTC or receiving BTC, at least, minimum, 1 week before the possible user activated soft fork, that you should not be receiving any or sending any. They said to do it at least within a week. They can take your money at the drop of the hat. Yeah, man. They showed us that, with the Ethereum crash, easily. Men refer to cars as she, and they love cars. I do love crypto. Maybe that's why I refer to them as she. There is somewhat of a love and hate relationship, I guess, if you want to call it that. My crypto journey. How low are we seeing F drop? I mean, she's already dropped to 130. She's proven to us she can drop to 130. I said 125. The last live stream. So, I mean, I can see this thing touching 100 and possibly having a nice little correction. But, with those Ethereums that were stolen, if they're dumped, I mean, this thing could really come crashing. I mean, let's really take a look at the overall chart and see exactly where she might have bottomed out and leveled off. And of course, with this flash crash at 13 bucks, and of course, it wasn't 13 bucks, it was 10 cents. That kind of ruins charting a little bit. But yeah, I think, I have an alert set for 100 bucks. That's kind of the alert right here for 100 bucks. But yeah, if she cracks 100 bucks, I mean, really, we're looking at these levels right here. This consolidation of let's see how many days that was. So let's just say May 3rd all the way up to May 18th. So almost 2 weeks worth of consolidation. Right in that price point there of 85 to possibly 75. That's really how low we can see it go if she cracks through the $100. If she cracks through $100, yeah, it might be lights out. To 75, possibly 60. I mean, who knows? I mean, she could crash back down to 45 bucks, easily. Because there was a lot of consolidation right at that $50 range. So 45, this is right in the 40 range. This is right in the 50 range. So it's going to have a lot of issues if she does crack below the $100. A lot of consolidation. So a lot of times, she will retest those consolidations, and these consolidations are great support areas. So I mean, I'm still holding Ethereum. I mean, I have Ethereum from, geez, what was the refund? The calculated refund. I think it was 317.82. So I mean, yeah, I'm down huge, and I really it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. I think I have a very crazy sell order for it. I think I have like 1,000. We'll look at it. I think I put like $1,000 sell order on it. And the reason why I did that is because, let's just say hypothetically, GDAX decides to allow margin trading, and if they allow margin trading, they're actually going to allow shorting as well too. And if I have a sell order on that, they're not to allow anybody to borrow my shares or my coins. That's the way it works in the stock market. Unless you have a sell order in the book, those exchanges, can lend out your coins or lend out your shares to anybody that wants to short them. So, by putting in a sell order, they know that, okay, you know what? Yeah, there is a sell order, so those aren't coins that we could actually allow people to borrow for shorting. So that's why I put in those that very high sell order. Now, is it going to get to 1,000? Definitely not. Definitely not. So don't buy Ethereum right now because I have a $1,000 sell order in the book. Yeah, please don't do that because it's not going to get to 1,000. But I just put it there because it's going to be out of sight, out of mind. I'm not even thinking about it, to be honest with you. I'm considering that money as something that was lost and that I never got back in the flash crash. So I'm only really trading with what I was left with, and that was about 5,500 or 5,300, I think it was. And then I was able to make a couple little trades to get it up to a little under 5,900 bucks. So that's really all that I'm trading with. But yeah, Ethereum is going to have an issue, if she cracks below the $100 level, and she could easily crack below it, easily. A $60 drop from here is nothing for Ethereum at all. But yeah, it's definitely been a crazy roller coaster. Crazy roller coaster. All right, so let me get out of that screen share and share a different screen with you guys, or ladies. All right, 41.92. So we're really going to be looking at Litecoin today because I do have a position in Litecoin that I'm looking to get out. 42.50 is basically my average down price because I bought at 44 and then bought the same amount at 41. So it basically lowered my cost average down to 42.50. If she can get above 42.50, I will be looking to sell those and then utilize that money for something else. But these are all Bitfinex charts, so let's go back to Bitfinex. Yeah, August, I would agree, man. Any BTC you have, I would definitely move it off the exchange. I think we're fine. And correct me, guys, if I'm wrong. I think we're fine with if you're holding LTC or Ethereum on Coinbase or GDAX. But yeah, I would definitely move any BTCs you have if you're looking to hold those long term. How low do I see Dash and Ripple dropping? I mean, we can take a look at that. Off the top of my head, I really can't give you a price point unless I really look at the chart and see where a majority of the consolidation has happened in the past. That's really where I kind of see them dropping and possibly leveling out unless selling intensifies. And then it could actually even drop it further than that. So if there is time at the end of this live stream, I will do my best to cover Dash and Ripple as well too. Yeah, ARC, that's actually great. I mean, entry at 150, exit at 175. That's 25 bucks, depending on how many coins you have. I mean, yeah, you got to really look at this in the sense of short term. These aren't really long-term holds currently right now if you get in at a very good price. Do we see a lot of fear already priced in with segregated witness? I don't think it's just segregated witness. I think it's everything else that's possibly going to be happening. Segregated witness, segregated 2x, hard fork. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainties that are happening. So in my opinion, I don't think it's just only segregated witness. Geek me good. Yeah, dude. Definitely settled in, as best as we can. We still have a lot of things that are kind of in the box, and slowly but surely we're kind of going through it and putting it in the right place. But yeah, I still have my lease at my old place, and we have a couple things there. So I've been periodically going back and loading up my truck and bringing it back to the house. And then, yeah, we got to be out of there by end of July. So I got to go back and kind of clean the place as best as I can, just so that we get our security deposit back. But yeah, so we're kind of still living out of both places. But yeah, I mean, we settled in as best as we can. Got the most important things kind of set up. My office, cable for the TV, cable for the kids, the Wii, and old Dreamcast. I actually dug up one of my Dreamcasts that I haven't played in years, so we kind of got that set up for the kids. But yeah, thanks for asking. Geek me good. Appreciate it. Yeah, my crypto journey. Let's see. Remember the Pillar ICO and a couple others are helping with F dropping. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these ICOs are helping with the drop of Ethereum or F. In late August, we can possibly see a correction. Metropolis. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are coming out for Ethereum. Metropolis, Casper. So we'll see exactly how she reacts. To all those news, possibly positive news, and nothing that's negative. But all those Ethereums that were just stolen could put a little damper in that, possibly. Yes, hit the like button, guys, and I appreciate you for saying that. But yeah, if you do find this helpful, definitely hit the like button, and please feel free to share this with anybody that's looking to get into the cryptocurrency market. That's looking for an informative type of stream. That's not a pump and dump, because that's not really what I'm here to do. It's just basically to analyze a couple of charts and possibly get into a position. And you guys know that I'm very selective with my entries. I don't just take an entry whenever it presents itself. I'm very selective with the entries that I do take. But yeah, if anybody that could actually use some positive information on cryptocurrency trading, yeah, please feel free to share this with them. Have them join the live stream. Yeah, let me see if I can dig this up about the stolen Ethereums. And I think it was Dr. Ten who actually had shared it. So it's about 67 million worth of ETH that's in the hand of scammers. That's a comment from Dr. Ten. And I haven't really researched it yet, but I believe with Dr. Ten. He's not. Dr. Ten is basically somebody that's on our Slack chat. He's usually on here as well too. He's not somebody that's going to mislead anybody. And also, if you guys get a chance, I mean, check out his YouTube channel. He's got some great informative stuff about ARK and some of the things that he's creating. So I highly recommend you guys to follow Dr. Ten and subscribe to his channel if you haven't done so already. But I'm trying to find the conversation that was happening on Slack, and I don't think I can find it. Okay, so here it goes. CoinDash. CoinDash was hacked. They hacked the website. $7 million were sent to a scammer address. So it's CoinDash that was hacked, and this could happen to really any exchange, any wallet. I mean, it could happen at any time, unfortunately. So who knows what's going to happen with the $6 to $7 million worth of Ethereums that were stolen. Hey, August, you can actually use the donation, the super chat. You can definitely use that, which isn't too bad at all. The only thing is YouTube or Google actually takes 30% of that. So I know Oni, I don't think he's on here today, but yeah, he's been utilizing that super chat and donating, and I appreciate it. But yeah, when I looked at the analytics and I was like, wow, YouTube keeps 30% or Google keeps 30% of that. So if you feel generous and you want to donate, and not really give any money to Google or YouTube, then utilizing our address, our wallet address, is probably the best way. But if you don't want to do that, that's perfectly fine, and you still want, you still feel generous, you want to utilize super chat, that's perfectly fine as well too. I do appreciate you asking. Thank you so much. Yeah, because I know, as these live streams get bigger and bigger and bigger, I'm going to have a hard time getting to some of the questions. And if you have a very important question that you want me to take a look at and you utilize Super Chat, basically it'll highlight that question and it'll keep it on my live chat screen for me to respond to it. So if you have a very important question that you really want me to get to and there's just comments that are flying, through this live stream, then yeah, utilizing Super Chat is probably the best way. Yes, I actually don't have a software to keep track of my trading. My buddy Scott M, I don't think you're on here today, but you're usually on here, or you might just be kind of live streaming this in the background. But yeah, he created me an Excel spreadsheet, and that's the way I've been kind of tracking them. I've actually been a little lazy, to be honest with you, and haven't been tracking them as best as I should. And I should, especially when you're arbitraging from one exchange to another exchange, because somewhere along the line, later on when it's tax time, it's going to get shuffled, it's going to get missed. It's like, how did I get these Litecoins? Where did I get these Litecoins from? So definitely, trying to keep track of it as best as you can is the only advice I can give you. Either taking a screenshot of it or just jotting it down on a piece of paper, but just having some sort of written record of your entry, your exit, when you bought it, when you sold it, subtracting the commission out of the profits as well too. Keep me good. That's too funny. I appreciate it though. Yeah, I'm definitely all hooked up, and I appreciate the comment. Man of my stature should have at least 1 second home. Yeah, dude. I would love to have a beach home, and be able to visit my beach home and be able to trade right on the beach. It's kind of tough with 3 kids though. They eat up a lot of my money. They basically eat through the fridge on a daily basis. And diapers are expensive. Pretty good question, August. Coinbase Vault is a way for you to store, your coins. You're either going to have a BTC Vault or Ethereum Vault or Litecoin Vault, and it's stored off the exchange in a cold storage. And then, for you to retrieve it, I think you got to do a couple 2-factor authentications and, email authentication, things like that, to be able to pull it out of the Coinbase Vault. But yeah, if it's in the vault, then there's no way that, if somehow, some way, Coinbase was to get hacked or the exchange was to get hacked, your coins are safe because they're actually in a vault locked up, hopefully, as they say. But that's what the vault is. It's a cold storage for you to be able to store your coins. All right, I think I got to all the comments. If I did miss a comment, I apologize. Just go ahead and write that comment out again, and then put in at Crypto Trader, just so I know that comment is directed towards me and I can respond to it, so that I'm not responding to a comment that you're responding to somebody else. That'll probably help me out a little bit. All right, so 4190. Let's go ahead and really analyze LTC from Bitfinex to see exactly, what she's possibly going to do. And we're going to take a look at the order book and how trades are being executed and all that good stuff. Things that I should really do hardcore when I first started doing a live stream. And Logan can probably attest to that. He was on the live stream from day one, and we would really sit there and analyze that order book on how trades were coming in. But 4280 was the high that it had actually set. So it's got to break through 4280. Let's see what this price point here was, 4250, 4250. So it's nice that it broke out above this 4250 here to get to 4280, but that wasn't enough. It wasn't much of a push to sustain it. So that's why it kind of got pulled right back down at 39.63. But we'll see. You know, she's got to get above the 42.50. She's got to get above the 42.80, and then she is going to have a problem right at the $45. So I am looking to sell at $45, sell 25 at 45, and then sell another 25 at 48. And the reason why I picked that 48 price point was because that's where I see this peak here. So, you know, she could easily break out, you know, above 48 and possibly get close to 50. But that's not a risk I'm willing to take because I know that is a resistance there. So I would be happy with a 45 exit and then a 48 exit. And then if she breaks down, I'll be looking at possibly add more or actually utilize the funds for what I was looking to do on SAN, OMG, possibly IOTA and EOS. But we'll see exactly, you know, if she does have a nice confirmed breakout. But really right now on the 30-minute chart, let me actually zoom in on this. You know, she is above the moving averages that I have on there. I have a 19, let's see, in the green. All right, this is acting up just a little bit. Let me make sure it catches up with what I'm talking about. Either my computer's acting up or Bitfinex is acting up. It's one or the other. So I have four moving averages, exponential moving averages on there. In the green is the 9 days, in the yellow, and hopefully you guys, you can see it a little better. I'll have to color coordinate this later on. In the yellow or oranges color, it's our 18-day moving average, and then in the dark blue is what our 100. And then in let's see what the light blue is. Light blue should be the 50-day moving average. Yeah, 50-day moving average. So she is well above our moving averages currently right now on the 30-minute chart. Now, if we look at a larger time frame, of course, it's going to indicate something else. So depending on what time frame you're looking at, you know, some of these moving averages, they're going to dictate something different to you. But right now on the 30-minute chart, we are way above the 9, 18, 50, and 100-day moving average. I should probably add the 200-day moving average and see exactly how she's doing in comparison to the 200-day moving average. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. Where is my moving average? Moving average exponential, there we go. So we're going to make that our 200-day moving average. All right, it's above our 200-day moving average as well too on the 30-minute chart. Now, if we zoom out of this and just let's go ahead and do a 12-hour chart, you know, it's going to indicate something different. So basically, it's indicating that our 200, it's way above our 200-day moving average, and I mean it's way above it because our 200-day moving average would be $29.14. What is this? Our 100-day moving average is $41.35. Our 50-day moving average is $42.42. So you know, she is basically right in the range of being above our you know 100-day moving average and really getting close to getting above that 50-day moving average as well too. And that's on a 12-hour chart. But you know, as a day trader, we don't really look at the 12-hour chart. Those are mainly for long-term investors. So the rule of thumb is, you know, if you're a long-term investor, you want to look at a larger time frame. If you're a day trader, you know, depending if you're trading a 15-minute candlestick, a half-hour candlestick, you want to look at a very smaller time frame. So there's times where I'll look at the, you know, 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour at the most is kind of what I'm looking at. Unless I'm a long-term investor, then I'll look at the daily candlesticks. All right, let's go ahead and look at the full order book. But unfortunately, I can't look at the chart if I'm in the full order book. Let's see. Geek me good. You're in the same position as I am with LTC. You don't fancy hold LTC through August 1st then. Fancy hold, I've never heard of that term, but no, I mean, if I have those profits at 45 and 48, I'm happy with it. I really am. Unless really she starts breaking out way above our moving averages, and it's a confirmed breakout on a positive news, and then I might actually cancel that and put in a higher sell order limit. But currently, right now, I'll be happy with the 45 as well as 48, because currently, I mean, we are in a bear market. This is not a bull market at all to be expecting something else, and it's not going to get to those levels at all. LTC will be 75 in a few months. I mean, end of the year is a $100 target. So I mean, it's definitely feasible. I mean, we're basically in July now, so I mean, we got August, September, October, November, December. That's in 5 months. Yeah, $75 in a few months is definitely doable. Definitely. But, we need to get over this craziness, this bear market that we're currently in. But yeah, because I know with different exchanges, I mean, it's topped out at 65 bucks. But on Coinbase, I think the all-time high, prior to it really getting up to above 50 bucks was about 35, 36 bucks. Let's take a look at that real quick. Let's go to Coinbase.com. And we'll take a look at the LTC chart on a all-time. So all-time, basically right up here, 37.98. We'll just say 38 bucks. 38 bucks was really the all-time high that it had actually set. And that was, let's see how far ago. November 27th, 2013. So it was what, 5 years? I mean, 4 years ago, basically, under 4 years ago that it had set that high and broke out above it, really. I wish I could draw arrows on this, but it is not going to allow me. And I mean, just by eyeballing this, these dips that we have here, that takes it right to about the high in 2013, that 37 and change. So, it kind of shows to me, what it likes to, make the prior high a new support. And that's currently what she's doing right now. As long as she holds this current position that she's in, if she breaks down further, then, we could really retest the $20 handle, like I've mentioned in the previous live stream. And when I say a $20 handle, I don't mean exactly 20 bucks. It could be anywhere from $29.99 all the way to $20.01. So if I say a $30 handle, it's somewhere in the 30 price range. If I say $20 handle, it could be anywhere in the 20s, really. But yeah, I firmly believe that before we have that run up to 75 or 100 end of the year, I firmly believe that she is going to touch that $20 handle, whether it gets to $29.99 or $27.75, whatever it might be, it will touch the $20 handle again before really having a nice massive run. But 41.79 currently right now on Coinbase or GDAX, and 41.94. So not much of a difference there. But yeah, she's got to get above that 42.50, 42.80, and then possibly we could see it run up to that 44 and 45 possibly for my exit. But let's go ahead and take a look at the order book and see exactly where people are stacked up, especially the buyers. That's kind of what I'm interested in. Where are the buyers stacked up? So 41.39, one person, and that's why I like Bitfinex, man, because it tells me exactly how many buyers or sellers are stacked up at a very specific price point, whereas GDAX doesn't do that at all. You just kind of have to guesstimate and say, oh, there's 10,000 in this order book. Is that one person? Is that multiple people? If it's one person, it should draw a red flag, because that one person is possibly purchasing 10,000 or whatever it might be. And later on, they're going to be looking to get rid of those 10,000. But if it's multiple people, then it's not as a bad outcome, because those multiple people are going to be basically selling at different increments. They're not going to be looking to sell it at one possible price point. So we do have one person with about 2,500 Litecoins at 41.39. Currently, right now, though, price is 41.93. If this is even correct, because we do see GDAX just hitting 42 bucks. All right, another 2,500 at $40.62. So let's see how many of these 2,500s that we do see. Because if we're seeing a good amount of them, it's one person that's looking to unload. One person at 37 3,750 Litecoins at $40.12. And these are buyers, by the way. They're not sellers. Here we go, another 25 at $39.50. And that's one person. Let's see if there's another. So, okay, 5,000. And there's 3 buyers at $38.20. We're not going to go down below 35 bucks, but let's see. Let's see if anybody has any crazy lowball offers in, expecting a flash crash. 75,600 at 0.001. Yeah, I don't really see it getting down to 0.001 at all, to be honest with you guys, at all. But yeah, I guess it's wishful thinking. That's 17 people have that crazy lowball offer in there. All right, so that's a buy side. So we do have a couple people that are stacked up, or at least one person that's stacked up, right at, with 2,500, and then 5,000 at 38.20. So, at least we know on Bitfinex that if she does drop to 38.20, there is going to be a good amount of support of 5,000 at that specific level. Let's see on the sell side. Do we have any big sellers that are stacked up? There we go, 25,000. I'm sorry, 2,500 at $42.41. So $42.41. Yeah, 2,500 for one person is a good amount to be unloading. So we'll have to definitely. I got to jot that down because I know I'm not going to be looking at the order book. $42 and what was that? 42.417 for 2,500. So 42.40, 42.41, 40, 42.42. She's going to have a little bit of a resistance. At 43 bucks, there is 4,707 Litecoins, but there's 24 people, so that's not bad. There's a lot of people that are stacked up at that price point. It's just not one person with 4,700. So, that shows me that, okay, you know what? There are 27 people or 24 people that are willing to support that at 40 or sell at $43. So that's a good amount of people that are selling, not just one person. So 43.11, 25, and then a couple 1,000s at 43, 43.20, 43.30, 43.40. I want to see that $45 price point and see how many people are stacked up, because that's where I'm exiting. So 13 of us are stacked up, including myself, at that $45 price point for 2,147.5 Litecoins. And then my $48 price point. $18 stacked up for 678. So there's a good amount of people, even though the amount of coins that are being sold are not as high, there's a good amount of people that firmly believe that is the resistance. So the 45 and 48 that I put in there a couple days ago, I think it was ever since the 14th, kind of proves to me, okay, you know what, that is going to be a resistance, considering there are 18 people with 678. And as the time goes on, more people could actually stack up onto that order as well too. So 45 and 48, good amount of sellers that are stacked up. So we'll see exactly how she reacts to that price point if and when she gets up there. I'm not saying that she will get up there, but if and when she does get up there, she's going to have a little bit of a hiccup. All right, let me see if I can get to some of the comments. Crypto never sleeps. 38 was all-time high. On what exchange? Because 38 was the 37 and change, a little under 38 was the all-time high in 2013 before having really a massive downshift to $3, $4 before she really started running up. a lot of fear money we put into LTC. It's already starting. Yeah, and I mean, I like that nice run that it had. You know, from $34 all the way up to, you know, 42.50, 43 bucks. I mean, that's a nice run. I mean, you know, 9 to 10 bucks. I mean, that's not bad at all. So yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, a lot of people are not fearing Litecoin at this current moment. Yeah, I think it's one of really the only solid, based on what I follow. Now there's 850, over 850 different cryptocurrencies, you know, and of course you guys know I don't follow every single one of them, but based on what I am following, I think, you know, we're in a better position with Litecoin. And I wish I was in front of my computer to be able to take advantage, you know, of that drop, you know, below 35 bucks, to even have an entry at, you know, 36.50 or 37. I would have been happy. Yeah, geek be good. I know that that question was basically in you know, gears towards crypto never sleeps. But if you're holding a good amount of LTC, you know, the best thing to do is seriously just lock in profits as it's going up. You know, depending on what your entry was, I'm not sure. But you know, start locking in a little bit of the profit. You don't have to sell everything. You don't have to sell, you know, 20% or 30%, but maybe start selling in increments of 10% of your position at a higher profit. And if it goes up higher, start selling a little more, because when it does correct, it will correct. Then at least, you know, you took profit at a higher price, and then you have the capital and the profit to be able to reinvest it back into Litecoin or anything else that you're interested in. But that's really the best way to play these. You know, we can't determine what the bottom is. We can't determine what the top is. All we could do is really take a position at different increments when it's dropping, and start taking profits at different increments when it's rising. That's really the only best way of playing these, to be honest with you. You know, none of us have the crystal ball and say, okay, you know what, this is the bottom. This is what I'm waiting for. And more than likely, it's never going to get there. 99.9% of the time, it's not going to get to that bottom price that you're looking for. So by taking an entry, you know, just a little bit, not a lot. I mean, I only bought 25 at 44, and I bought another 25 at 41. It started lowering my average down, and I should have bought a little more at 38 and bought a little more at 30, you know, 36. And I could have probably had an average of about 37 bucks instead of still staying with my average of 42, 42.50. Let's see. Yeah, great point. It just requires one major retailer to announce that they will accept Litecoin, like Overstock did with Bitcoin, and went to the moon. So in regards to Litecoins, I mean, there's still a lot of potential out there for it. You know, there's a lot of exchanges that still don't allow Litecoin trading. Imagine what would happen if Gemini comes out and says, we're going to support Litecoin. That's going to be huge news for it. I mean, I remember when Litecoin was at like $4, $4.50, all of a sudden it skyrockets to like 11, 12 bucks because of a rumor that that Coinbase was going to be supporting Litecoin in New York City, because in New York City, to my understanding, that, you know, at that time they couldn't buy Litecoin, and that was just a rumor, and it went up to 12, 13 bucks, and it came back down to I think $5. And then finally, you know, when they said yes, you know what, Coinbase is going to be supporting Litecoin, which I don't know why they weren't supporting Litecoin in the past, considering they had it on the GDAX exchange. Why did they not have it on their you know, the Coinbase exchange? Which didn't make sense to me at all. But, you know, once they came out with that news, I mean, look what it did to the price. So, and especially, you know, with the three largest, you know, Chinese exchanges, you know, allowing Litecoin trading, I mean, that made a huge impact on the price. So all it needs is, you know, some of the major exchanges that allow you to trade within USD to say, you know what, we're going to start supporting Litecoin, and Gemini is one of them. You know, Gemini is really one of the only exchanges that I know that really you're limited to Bitcoin and Ethereum, and that's it. It's like, come on, guys, you know, why not add Litecoin to it? You know, why not add, you know, Dash to it? You know, maybe not Monero, but, you know, some of the very popular cryptocurrencies. But Litecoin should definitely be added to it. And if they come out with that news or possible rumor that, you know, Gemini is going to start accepting Litecoin, that's going to be huge for the price. I mean, I don't know what it's going to do to it, to be honest with you. You know, that $75 that somebody mentioned will be an easy target. Amazon is petitioning to accept Litecoin. I hope they do. I hope they do. Litecoin definitely needs, mass adoption, and it doesn't have that mass adoption yet. But yeah, I mean, if retailers can start accepting Litecoin, I mean, that's going to be huge for it. Yeah, there's no reason that it shouldn't be over $100. Yeah, but I haven't read anything about the petition, so I'll have to do a little research and see exactly, how many signatures they might have gotten. How to make 7.5 million in less than 2 hours? I don't know, man. That's wishful thinking. I don't know. Unless you're rich and you already have a couple $1 million, then it's easy to make 7.5 million. All you need is something to go up, 50%, and you have 50,000 or 50 million, that you're investing in it. You just got 75 million all of a sudden. And I'm trying to get to some of these comments, and then we'll take a look at Litecoin, because it is getting close to that 42.50, possibly to see if it'll break that 42.80. It's got to break 42.80 in order for it to have some sort of upward move, and that could really be the push that we need, to get it up to that $45 price level. Probably not by the time this live stream ends, but I can see it hitting that $45 after the live stream ends, and then having a correction, of course. On any nice upticks, you got to remember there are profit takers. There are people that are minimizing their loss because they happen to get in. Maybe they went all in at a very high price of, let's just say, hypothetically, I'm not going to say 50 because that's kind of too high, but let's just say they got in at $47. And they saw this thing dip to 36. They just lost, $11 per coin. They're not looking to sell there, but as it's making its way up and it's hitting key levels of resistance, it's breaking through key levels of resistance, then they're going to be looking a lot to minimize the loss. Instead of having a larger loss, they're going to be like, okay, you know what? I was losing $11 per coin at one point. Now I'm only down $2 per coin. You know what? That's a lot better than being down $11 per coin. I'm going to go ahead and minimize the loss right now and lock in, the capital that I have. That happens a lot. So you definitely got to keep that in the back of your mind, that there is always going to be people taking profits, whether it's minimizing the loss or taking a profit. I mean, there's a lot of people, and I'm sure some of you guys caught this really nice dip, and caught it at $37, $36, or whatever it might have been. Gets up to 45, 47. Why not take those profits? Yeah, Geek Me Good. You're absolutely right, man. I mean, trading cryptos is one of the hardest things. It's not easy at all. It's not easy day trading. To be a long-term holder is not bad, because you can just kind of look at the trend and say, okay, you know what, we're still good. I'm still in the clear. My entry was at $10 and we're at $47. I'm still in the green. But yeah, if you're day trading and you're just basically looking to get in and out, yeah, you really can't take your eyes off this too long. I mean, it's 24/7. That's a thing. It never sleeps. I forget who it was. Crypto never sleeps. It's a great name. But yeah, he's absolutely right. It just never sleeps. It's always awake, and it happens to down dip, when it's least expected. I've seen the drop. I'm not awake for it, but when I'm looking at the chart, I've seen the drop at 3:30 in the morning, and I think it was ECS that kind of tailored his sleeping habit, to kind of coincide to when these drops are happening. And when he told me, he said, he's like, I'm usually up at 2:30 in the morning. And I'm like, dude, that's 3:30 my time. I'm like, I'm seeing these drops, or not seeing them because I'm not awake, but I'm looking at the chart and I'm seeing this, that it dropped at 3:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, you're able to see these drops if you're awake. And those are perfect opportunities. I mean, if you don't have those low ball buy offers in, and you happen to be awake, anywhere from, 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. Eastern time zone, you can definitely get some of these drops that are happening. Yeah, and I do try to increase my LTC amount to lower my cost average. But unfortunately, when it dropped below $40 and broke below 35, I wasn't in front of a computer. Now I had a $34 buy-in offer, but of course, it didn't get to $34. Yeah, shorting is a great way of making money, but it's also a dangerous way of making money. I mean, we are in a bear market, and what happens in a bear market? I mean, prices go down. So if you're able to short, yes, there's money to be made. But if this thing decides to turn around on you and it turns around fast, and you're not looking at it, or there's a possibility you could end up getting liquidated. So it's a gamble that you're taking. And if you are shorting, I wouldn't even take your eyes off the screen. I would lock in those profits if you do get a nice dip. Just have a plan of exit and stick to that plan of exit. But yeah, shorting is a dangerous game. Margin trading is a dangerous game, and you guys got to see firsthand how dangerous it is. And when you least expect something to happen that's so drastic, it happens. It can happen. So that flash crash can happen at any time. Hopefully not on GDAX. Hopefully they put the measures in place to protect it from happening again. I hope they did. I don't know if they did. They haven't really come out with an update saying, what, these are the things that we're putting into place to prevent this from happening again. But I mean, it can happen on any of the other exchanges easily. All they need is somebody who just stole $7-9 million worth of Ethereum to go there and dump it all at the market level. And if that happens, same thing as that happened on GDAX could happen on Bitfinex, on Kraken, on any of these large exchanges, really. All right, 42.26 is currently what we're looking at. So it's way above GDAX price of 41.99. But that 42.50 and 42.80 is going to be a key level to look at. AMSCOT, I don't know what AMSCOT is. Okay, AMSCOT is cash loan store. Yeah, stay away from cash loan, payday loans, cash loan stores. I mean, you're going to end up paying so much of an interest. I mean, if you don't have the money to trade, don't trade. Don't borrow money to trade. And that's what margin is basically. You're borrowing money to trade. If you're doing a payday cash loan and the trade turns against you, I mean, you end up owing all that money. So if you're trading, make sure it's money that you can afford to lose. That's my best advice. Don't trade with money that you cannot afford to lose and that you actually need to sustain your living or to support your living, whatever it might be. When will be the best time to invest in altcoins, etc.? Right now, everything bounced back to green. Yeah, it's a dead cat bounce. Everything is in the green. Let me kind of look at it. And I think the market cap has increased as well too. But I think BTC still has that 47% dominance. Let's see if the dominance has gone down from 47%. 47.3. So the dominance is still there, but I think we were at a market cap of what, 62. I could be wrong, maybe a little under $62 billion. So I mean, it's gained almost 10 billion. So alts are kind of making a comeback, somewhat to an extent. But yeah, dude, I can't really tell you when the best time to invest in is. I mean, I don't have the crystal ball, but I think until the summer ends, we're still going to be in a bear market. So I mean, I would definitely have USD, on the sideline, waiting to take advantage of a massive dip that's going to happen. And when the correction starts, and when I say correction, I mean it could be downside or to the upside. But when the correction to the upside starts, I mean, there's really going to be nothing that's going to stop it. And I don't think that's going to be until possibly end of October, November, possibly December. Yeah, the more news out about Bitcoin, or really any cryptocurrency, it's going to be huge news for it. So it just doesn't have to be on Litecoin. But yeah, we definitely need news, and positive news, news that can be verified, news that's not fake. Because we kind of saw what happened when there's fake news. Especially with Litecoin, it went up to 57.75 and came crashing back down to 30. Well, not crashing, but gradually, came down to under $35. ECS, thank you for sharing that, man. I appreciate it, because I know you stay very updated with the news. I'm not as updated as I should be. I have a lot of distractions with my kids. My wife works full time, and I'm usually at home with the kids. Right now, they're being kind of quiet, which I'm very surprised. That's not a good thing when they're quiet and you can't hear them. It just means that they're getting in trouble somehow, some way. Yahoo Money allows LTC USD info. Yes, I did see that tweet from Charlie Lee, and that's great news. That is great news, and that's just basically putting the news out there. So anybody that's in the stock market that looks at Yahoo Money is going to probably look at this and be like, LTC USD, what is this thing? And it might pique some sort of interest. No, definitely, Litecoin is not going anywhere anytime soon. You are absolutely right about that. Litecoin definitely has, it has that great community support. And I mean, she's shown us, just recently, with this crazy, bear market that we're in, where everything is dipping, we see LTC. I mean, yes, of course, LTC dipped as well too with it, but we got to see it go from 35 bucks on GDAX all the way up to 42.50. I mean, that's impressive. That doesn't really happen in a bear market. We don't have that crazy nice, over $10 or close to $10 swing to the upside. If she was going to swing up to the upside, it'd be like $1, $2.50 possibly before correcting, to the downside again. When sorting, do you mean when shorting, Daniel? I'm assuming you mean when shorting. When shorting, what percentage increase do you exit to limit losses? I mean, I always have a plan, before I enter the trade, as well as, once I enter, I also have a plan of exit. And I try to stick to that. I'm only a human being. I break my rules, just like anybody else would be able to break their rules. But as long as you stick to that plan and say, you know what, I'm willing to basically, take a 10% loss, 15% loss. Now you got to really look at that 15% loss or 10% loss in comparison to USD, because I'm not sure what your position size is going to be. But to stick somewhere 5 to 10% is not bad at all. And say, you know what, I've taken a 10% loss. I'm going to cut my loss. I'm going to wait for it to to get back down, or get back up if you're shorting, and then short it again. But like I said, shorting is a dangerous game. Yeah, if you were going to short cryptos, I mean, the best time to do it was basically at the all-time high. But nobody knew that, we're going to be having this crazy dip. Would the update to Bitcoin make Litecoin drop? Oh man, that's a possibility. Especially if segregated witness 2 is adopted and people are actually, putting money back into Bitcoin. Then yeah, I mean, money could be flown out of Litecoin and go back into Bitcoin. That's a possibility. Really, anything's possible in this crazy market that we're all in. Yeah, shorting, Daniel, it's a dangerous game. But yeah, you just got to really, you got to really look at the order book and see, okay, exactly, where are sellers stacked up? And you got to look at really your probabilities of it being a good entry on a short position. So if you see sellers are stacked up heavily at a very certain price point, and I'm just making up these numbers, let's just say at 50 bucks for LTC, and current price is 42 bucks. You see sellers are stacked up at 42 bucks. You might want to short at maybe $49.95, $49.99, because that's where sellers are stacked up. That's at that price point that possibly it could have a turnaround to the downside. Shorting here and not really looking at the order book and having people stacked up to sell at 42 bucks, the current price, is not a good short entry. So you definitely want to take a look and see exactly, where are short sellers stacked, or not short sellers, where are sellers stacked up. So you're going to basically short it where everybody's stacked up, maybe, a couple pennies below where they're stacked up. And then you're going to take a look at the buy side and see, okay, where are the buyers stacked up? And wherever the buyers are stacked up, that's when you want to cover your short position. Because basically when you're shorting, you're borrowing something that's not yours and you're selling it on the market instantly. And when you're covering, you're basically your buyer. You're buying back those Litecoins or cryptocurrencies that you borrowed to give them back to wherever you borrowed them from. So short sellers do provide liquidity to the market, and they do cause a nice upward swing because they're actually buying to cover their short position. So whether they're shorting and they actually made a profit and they're buying it to cover, or the price completely turned against them and it didn't go down. It actually decided to go back up, and they have to cover, because then their losses are getting higher and higher as the price is going up. So they provide liquidity. They're buying into the market. That causes the price to actually even shoot up higher. So, I mean, I like short sellers, to be honest with you. I don't short. I have shorted. I don't short. But I like short sellers because when they start covering, I mean, that drives the price up. But it's just kind of hard to tell where they're stacked up. Yeah, shorting is a bad idea, in my opinion. That's just the way I trade. I think shorting is a bad idea, but everybody has their own philosophy on shorting. Some people make a great living out of shorting. They really do. I know a lot of great traders, and that's all they do is they short. They look for different strategies. I mean, really, you can't play those types of strategies that you play in the stock market because the market closes. The weekends that are off. So there's one guy that plays the gap fill strategy. So when something gaps up so high, it has to fill that gap that it gapped up from. And he'll play the gap fill strategy. So if something runs up so high and it gapped up $2, there's a gap of $2, he'll short it at the high and then wait for it to come down and fill the gap. And then he gets out, he covers his short position, and he makes a good amount of money doing that. Should someone remortgage? Excuse me, I had a cough. Should someone remortgage their house and trade on margin and pump and dump groups? No, don't do it. Don't take out a second mortgage on your house or do a reverse mortgage. You're really playing with money that's not yours. And to play in these pump and dump games, unless you're the administrator, unless you're the promoter, you're not making any money, honestly. Let me share this with you. Like I said before, I get messages left and right about shorting. I'm sorry, not shorting, about joining pump and dump groups. So let me share a different screen with you guys. All right, let me enlarge this. So let me look at the last message that I received on YouTube. From DHK, he commented on one of the videos. Join our pump and dump group on Bittrex. Link Telegram, blah, 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 blah. Free and easy money for everyone. It's not free and easy money for everyone. Remember that. It's only free and easy money for the promoters as well as the admin. For anybody that's really joining any of these pump and dump groups, yes, you can make money. You can end up making a little bit of money, but majority lose everything, to be honest with you. It's really the promoters and the admins that are making money because they're buying in these cryptocurrencies weeks, upon weeks in advance. And then they're going to pump it. And then when they pump it, that's when they're making money, and that's when you're going to be losing money. So I would be very careful with joining any type of pump and dump groups. Honestly, there's a lot of money to be lost. I will never join a pump and dump group, and I will never run a pump and dump group. I don't believe in it. I couldn't sleep at night, knowing that I screwed somebody over some money. I mean, we're all human beings. We all have things that we need to take care of in life, and I'm not here to steal anybody's money. I'm not here to mislead anybody. But a lot of people are, and that's just a scary part. It's they get misled, and it's that philosophy that I follow. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. If I was a new trader and I came into some of these pump and dumps and I lost majority of my money, what do you think's going to happen? Do you think I'm going to come back to this market? No, I'm going to put it on a back burner and kind of forget about the cryptocurrency market and tell all my friends how I got taken advantage of, and that they probably shouldn't even trade this cryptocurrency market because it's a scam. So it really puts a bad taste in people's mouth, and it kind of curves that mass adoption. And when I say mass adoption, I don't mean retailers accepting cryptocurrency. I mean mass adoption with people that are flocking to the cryptocurrency market. So if they get taken advantage of, more likely they're not going to come back, and they're going to spread the news of how they basically got ripped off by joining this pump and dump group. But yeah, it's a scary thought. But yeah, don't remortgage your house to trade on margin in a pump and dump group, especially in a pump and dump group. I'm sure there are people that have remortgaged their house, have done a reverse mortgage, because the market has bottomed out and they take a long position and it's paid off for them heavily. But to use that money on margin and for a pump and dump, I think you're kind of asking for trouble, Daniel, in the long run. You'd be shorting businesses that cryptos put out of business in the stock market. Actually, that's not a bad way to look at it. That is not a bad way to look at it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if there is a cryptocurrency that's, you know, destabilizing, that's a huge disruption, and some of these companies that are trading on the stock exchange, yeah, I don't know of any yet, but if that time does come, yeah, it might not be a bad idea to short. What do I think about CHC? Yeah, I don't know, man. What happened to that? You know, buy and hold. Yeah, I don't think anybody bought and hold. You know, where the people that were buying and holding were the people that were unsuspected of what the people telling you to buy and hold were doing. They were telling you to buy and hold as they were selling. Let me see. I don't even know what exchange they're on. I've looked at it before. I don't even know what the price is actually doing now. But I know it had a massive drop. Let's take a look at possibly 7 days, 1 day. Let's see, what exchange is this on? Not an exchange that I have access to. But I mean, they had this thing all the way up to $7, $8, I think. Yeah, but that buy and hold philosophy that they were spreading did not work out. And really, what should have drawn a red flag was basically when they took it up to 680, and they were telling people to buy and hold. They took it up to 680, and then brought it right back down to $4.30. And then they were saying, no, you should buy and hold, you know, get the master node. They brought it up to 681. As the people that were telling you or telling everybody else to buy and hold were selling and selling and selling and selling and selling and brought the price down to $2. You know, and then they were probably saying, hey, it's a great buying opportunity. I don't know why my chart hasn't switched over yet. Let me refresh what I'm seeing that you guys are seeing, because I'm looking at CoinMarketCap. Let's see if it'll refresh on the actual live stream. But yeah, they brought it down to $2. And then, you know, people still, they were probably saying buy and hold, because I have some that I haven't gotten rid of at the $6 price range or $5 price range, and I want to get rid of it. And they brought it right back up to $4.38. So, you know, I mean, you know, if you weren't out there listening to what they were saying and you were just really following the technical side, and I mean, really, there's not much of a technical analysis to be doing on this, considering you don't really have that much of a history. But, you know, if you were just like, you know what, I'm just going to buy this at $2, or would it get down to 201? Yeah, great opportunity to sell at $4. You know, 100% profit. You made it, get out. But yeah, I don't believe in that philosophy of buying and holding, especially when somebody's telling me to buy and hold. It's like, okay, you know what is your motive for telling me to buy and hold? Is it so that you can unload when the price gets up higher? Yeah, I don't know about CHC. I don't know about a lot of these cryptocurrencies, to be honest with you. They're all scams, in my opinion. And I don't want to offend anybody if you are holding some of these cryptocurrencies. Remember that these are just my personal opinions and my personal opinions only. I could be completely wrong. But yeah, I don't trust a lot of these cryptocurrencies. I really don't. All right, let me see where I'm at in these comments. CHC, okay, that was the last part. So Jeff, so I don't know if you got into CSC or CHC, but you know, I mean, if you got in at a very good price and you're in the profit, don't be afraid of taking those profits. You know, and that's a problem with a lot of traders. And I'll be honest with you, that was a problem I ran into, you know, 10, 11 years ago when I first started trading, was taking profits. I mean, I had a great entry, and the price starts to go up, and I'm like, oh, nice. I'm up 15, 20%. Oh, this is great. Oh, wow, now I'm up 50%. You know what? This thing's going to go up to 100%, and it never goes up to 100%. Like, I was just never satisfied, you know, with the profits that it was presenting me. You know, the analogy that I would put that, you know, to is basically, let's just say you're walking down the street, and I see you walking down the street, and I offer you $100. Would you take it? I would say yes, that you would take it. You know, so if you're trading something and you're up $100 or whatever it might be, $200, $300, $400, why would you not take it? You know, that's kind of the analogy that I would kind of compare it with. I could be wrong though. You know, some people might say, no, I'm not taking that. I would definitely take it. If I saw you walking down the street and you said, hey, you know what, here's $100, I would definitely take it. Just like I would take the profits when they present themselves to me. But yeah, CHC, yeah, don't think anything about it. I mean, I'll look at it again if you guys ask me to take a look at it, but that's not something I'm going to be looking at on a daily basis, unless she falls down to like 10 cents. Then I might look at it. pump and dump is right, dude. Yeah, you know, buy and hodl. Yeah, it didn't work at all for him. Well, it actually did work. Yes, it worked for the people that bought in early, but it didn't work for the people that were following that philosophy and saying, okay, you know what, I'm going to buy and hold this. It didn't work out for him at all. Rest in peace, pump and dumps. Yeah, you know what the thing is, though, that they will always exist. They will always be in this market. And there's really no way to, I mean, the only way that they're going to subside is if people stop falling into that trap. But, you know, so I know not to fall into that trap because I've been in this market. Well, not in the cryptocurrency market, but I've been in trading for the past 11 years. There's a lot of new people that are coming on, you know, trading this cryptocurrency or trading the stock market, and they're getting caught up in this pump and dump because they see something going up, you know, 600-700%, and they're like, man, like why didn't I get in that? Little they know that it's a pump and dump, and they're like, oh, this group wants me to join their channel, and they're going to notify me of what cryptocurrency is going to be pumped. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And they're sitting there and waiting, you know, to figure out, okay, which cryptocurrency are they going to be pumping? And by the time they find out, it's too late. It's run up so high. You know, let's just take a look at Bittrex real quick and see, you know, what is being pumped on Bittrex at the current moment. I mean, you guys got to see the last message, YouTube message I got. It was basically, let me look at it again. I think they did say what, yeah, join our pump and dump group on Bittrex. You know, so why would I want to trade anything on Bittrex, especially if it's not a top 10 coin, knowing that there are pump and dumps that are happening on Bittrex? You know, because it's very easy for me to get caught in these pump and dumps. Very easy. And I've talked about GBG a while back, how I got caught in the pump and dump. I mean, I still have it. I mean, I didn't put much into it. It was like 0.02, I think, BTCs. It wasn't much at all. But yeah, I thought I was getting in early on this pump and dump, and it seriously lasted like 30 seconds. And I was like, whoa, that was way too quick. Like I knew better not to put in so much money into it, but I was like, you know what, let me just see if I can make, you know, 30-40% on this real quick, even though I know it's a pump and dump that's happening. But yeah, I mean, it's easy for any of us to get trapped. All right, percentage changes. Let's see, SYNX. Somebody asked me to take a look at this the other day, and I can't believe it's still up. SYNX. I forget who it was. But it had been pumped, and I think they dumped it, and then they brought it back up. I could be wrong. Yep, there it is right here. Yeah, somebody asked me to take a look at it when it was like all the way up here, and I was like, yeah. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I'm like, this is too late, way too late. And of course, there's a lot of people that were buying at that high. You know, and of course, it came crashing back down on them to 7,099. More than likely, you know, they might have gotten tired, kind of lost patience, and they probably would have sold in this area here, which would have been the bottom price. You know, a lot of times when people panic and sell, they're selling at the bottom price. And then what do you know? You know, it has a nice little pump up again from, you know, 6,240 Satoshis all the way to 24,400 Satoshis. So yeah, these happen way too often, you know, with these pump and dump groups. And yeah, the admins can make a lot of money, but, you know, I don't know how they can sleep with themselves at night and just have, you know, morals. I don't know. It's not for me to badmouth some of these pump and dump, you know, admins, groups, whatever they are. But yeah, just I stay away from them. You know, I try not to associate myself with them. But yeah, the amount of messages I get is a little ridiculous, asking me to join the pump and dump group. Not a fan of it. All right, 4170. So where did she turn back from? 4226. She turned back from that 4226 price point. What was so important about that 4226? Nothing. Yeah, 4250 is the level that really she's got to crack. And then 4280. So I mean, it's a little slow, you know, but I think she can crack that 4250, 43, and then we'll see if she gets that $45 level that I'm looking to kind of take an exit from. Effing scammers, yeah, dude, it's everywhere you go. It's everywhere you go. You know, so it's just not on, you know, on trading. It could be on other things. You know, people are asking you to, I don't know, I'm just making up some stuff here. You know, asking you to join their arbitrage group, you know, where they're arbitraging. So, you know, you buy the cryptocurrency at one exchange, send it to them because it's a lot higher on the exchange that they use. More likely, you're not going to see those funds at all. So, you know, I think, you know, And plus, it's illegal to do that because you're running kind of an illegal money transfer service. But yeah, I would just be very cautious. There's so much scam that goes on out there. Clicking on links that you shouldn't be clicking on. I would be very leery in the cryptocurrency market because it's easy to click on a link that somebody sends you, thinking it's going to send you to the actual news outlet that they're referring to, but more likely it doesn't. You were told by a Nigerian prince that you can borrow money to get a large paid out. Yeah, dude. I've gotten those emails to my old Yahoo account. Yeah, Nigerian prince wants to send me money, and I'm like, oh, that's great. Scam. I mean, there's just so many scams out there, and some of them are pretty hard to catch, to be honest with you. So you just got to kind of, sit back and really think about it and say, okay, what are the repercussions that if I do click on this link, or if I do, some of these things that, what are the repercussions from it? And more than likely, hindsight will tell you not to get involved in it. Yeah, there are trolls everywhere. Trolls everywhere. It's just not, in this chat or their chat or whatever it might be. They're everywhere. My 2 cents on XRP, man, I am not a fan of XRP at all. I mean, I would be a fan of it if it got down to like 10 cents, a little under 10 cents. But it wouldn't be something I would hold long term, expecting it to get back up to the 40-cent level at all. I mean, if I got in at 10 cents and it gets up to 15 cents, I'm happy with a 50% profit. I'm going to take it. If I buy it at 14 cents and it gets up to 22 cents, I'm going to take those profits. I'm going to be happy with them. And that's kind of what I was looking to do. With the LTC that I do have on Bitfinex, I was looking to kind of sell them at above 42.50, just to be able to cover the commission. Because then I'm kind of at a break-even point because I do have to pay commission on Bitfinex. But yeah, I was really eyeing down OMG. OMG was at 31 cents. It makes it up to 55. I mean, 57. I mean, that's a huge increase. We're looking at 55% now, 56% increase. And those are the type of increases that I look for on a day-to-day basis. And if I can see those type of increases, I'm going to lock in those profits. But Ripple, I'm not too happy with it at all. Actually, I shouldn't say Ripple, XRP, because the coin is XRP. The technology might be something good, in the sense of Ripple, but XRP, there's really no use for it at this current time. I mean, banks are not using XRP. They might be using the Ripple technology, but not XRP at all. What did this get down to? 12 cents? 12.9, a little over 13 cents. But yeah, there's really nothing impressive about XRP at all. I would use it as a trading vehicle, yeah, to make 30, 40, 50% and get out, and maybe if it dips down again to those same levels, buy back in, and it gets right back up to, the 15, 16 cent level, get out. That's the best thing to do. Yeah, I don't think Ripple is a long-term hold. I believe Litecoin could be a long-term hold. Bitcoin with this debacle, once it ends, could be a long-term hold. Ethereum, once things kind of get back to normal, could be a long-term hold. But I firmly do not believe in XRP being a long-term hold. So SE, are you talking about CHC, I'm assuming? Saying it'll go back up. I'm not sure who Max is. Max is a pretty smart guy. Let's give it some time. Yeah, if it's CHC, I mean, it's got to tell us a lot more. I mean, it was just listed, so it doesn't have that much data. I try not to follow the hype of what people are saying. Buy and hold, when they completely have a different motive. I mean, if I tell you guys to buy and hold something, yeah, call me out on it, because I will never tell you guys to buy something. I'll tell you what I'm doing, and I'll tell you what entry I'm looking at, what exit I'm looking at, but I will never tell somebody, hey, you know what, you should buy this because it's going to go to 10 bucks, $5, whatever it might be. I will never tell anybody that. What do I think about Verge? I'm probably going to have to cover that on a different day because I have about 3 minutes left on this live stream, and I want to try to answer some of these questions as best as I can, and not be stuck kind of looking at a chart. So definitely ask me about Verge on the next live stream. A lot of people like Verge, so but I definitely got to look at the chart. Looked into Dimecoin. You know what? I'll write this on my list, and then when I do have time, when I'm not doing a live stream, I can definitely do a little bit of analytical work. But you guys know I don't really trust a lot of these altcoins. So this is Jeff. Still 50% of your coins when they reach 5, but still hold 50%. You have buy-ins at $2.52 before the first wave. Yeah, so you took profits at $5. I'm not sure what your entry was. But yeah, I mean, that's great to lock in 50% of your profit at $5 because then it came down to $2 and change. So that's pretty good, man. You weren't just holding it and expecting it to, get up to $10, $11, $12, whatever it might have been. That's a pretty good strategy, Jeff. CHC to the moon. Oh man, you're pumping. Powder monkey, you're pumping. I don't know about to the moon. It could have significant gains, yes, and there is money to be made, but I don't know about going to the moon. So let's see, Powder Monkey saying, CoinDash, Ether is still being sent to this address. The scam address has already raised more than real address. Yeah, that's scary, and I'll probably have to read up about it later on after I get off this live stream and kind of take care of my kids. But yeah, that's scary. That is scary that they're still getting money out. PK, welcome. What's my sell on LTC? 45 and 48, and those are the resistance. So let me go back to LTC. So the 45 and 48 are the resistance that I see, and I like locking in profit at the resistance level. If it goes up higher, that's great. I still have a little bit more that I can sell. I'm not selling everything at the first level of resistance. I'm just selling increments of 25. I only have 50, so selling 25 at 45, and then possibly another 25 at 48 if it gets to that level. But yeah, 45 is a resistance as well as that $48 level. Now, if it does decide to break, above 48, yes, you know what, it could hit, 48.50, possibly 49, and then come right back down, because really the next area of resistance is going to be right at the 49, 49.50-ish level. But if FOMO kicks in, then yeah, this could easily send it right. If it breaks 48 and FOMO kicks in, it could easily send it right up to $51.50, because that's going to be another key area of resistance. But yeah, unless FOMO kicks in, where there's a lot of buying that's outweighing the selling, I don't really see this thing kind of, cracking that $50 level at this current time. 44.50, you think, is the resistance? Let me see. And it all depends too, what exchange you're looking at, because remember, every exchange is going to have different indicators, especially if you're utilizing SMA or EMA, whatever indicator it might be, RSI. It's going to be completely different. Candlesticks are different, volume is different. The trend might be the same. If you kind of do an overlay of both exchanges with the same cryptocurrency on the same time frame, but you got to remember the indicators are going to tell you something different. So 44.50 might be on something else that you're looking at, but let's see. Kind of the 45, and I'm playing it safe with saying 45. I mean, it could easily be that 45.50. Easily, it could be 45.50. So I see a couple times where it got it up to that 45.50-ish, and so I put 45 on there just to be on the safe side. Normally, I would put like $44.99. But yeah, 44.50, you could be exactly right depending on what exchange you're looking at. What do I think will happen if BTC goes to 2100 today? I think it'll correct to the downside. I mean, there's going to be profit taken. Anybody that bought in the 1800, 1750 range, and they were still holding it, they're going to be looking to lock in those profits. So if BTC does get back up, I'm not even sure what it's at now. 2070, if that's even correct. We got to 2090. And then it corrected down to 1976. So let's look at a larger time frame. 2100's right about there. So yeah, so it's going to have a correction. Now, is it going to correct back down to 1758? Probably not. But at 2100, it could easily come right back down just a little below 2000 and possibly hit 1976 or 1980, and then coming right back up. But yeah, at 2100, I think there are going to be profit takers. And let's see, on the order book, actually the order book only goes to 2083, so it's kind of hard for me to see at that price point, how many buyers and sellers are stacked up. Let's take a look at Bitfinex, because I can look at the whole order book on Bitfinex. And then after I look at BTC, then I definitely have to end this live stream. So I definitely want to thank everybody for joining, for coming on this. It's great to have you guys. And if you haven't clicked on that subscribe button yet, please do so, as well as the post notification so that you're notified every time a video is uploaded. And feel free to stay connected with us on Steemit, Twitter, Facebook. And if you do have a Steemit account, feel free to help us out and upload our videos. Now we are simultaneously streaming this on Steemit as well too. So if you are watching this on Steemit, thank you so much for your support. I do appreciate it. All right, so let's see, 2100. Are sellers stacked up at 2100? Yeah, they are. Especially, and this is on Bitfinex, so I can't really look at Coinbase or GDAX because it doesn't allow me to go up that high until the price really gets up close to that price point. And then, yes, we can look at that 2100 price point. But yeah, we got 26 sellers for total of 226 Bitcoins at 2100 even. So yes, it is going to cause a correction. So I would not be looking to hold this, past $2,099.99 because at 2100, there's 26 people that are looking to sell. And that's a good amount of Bitcoins, 226 Bitcoins. On the buying side, are there any? 128 at 2024. Ooh, here we go. Here we go. One buyer, 2,000 Bitcoins, $1,989. So I'm definitely gonna have to pay attention to that level of 1989 if she gets down to it. So basically, what this person is thinking is, and they're probably thinking the same way that I'm actually thinking. And I'm hoping that you guys can see the Bitfinex that I'm looking at, because on the actual live stream is showing Bittrex, which it's been a while since I've looked at Bittrex. But yeah, this person is probably thinking the exact same thing that I'm thinking. And it's only one person buying 2,000 of them at 1989. So he's expecting that, once it hits 2100, there's all those, 200 and whatever, 226 that are looking to get unloaded. He's expecting it, he or she is expecting the price to drop to under 2,000, 1989. So that's why he's got in a very large buy order for 1989 for 2,000 Ether. So, and more likely, I don't think that person is going to be holding the 2,000. I don't think they're going to be holding it long term. They're going to probably look to get out of 2,100 bucks. I mean, to gain 100, let's just say 100 bucks. Let's say he gets rid of it at 2,089 bucks. I mean, for him to gain $100, for every Bitcoin that he has, I mean, those are pretty good gains. I mean, he's looking at $200,000. I mean, that's huge. I mean, yeah, let's just see it. Let me do the math real quick. 2,000 times 1989. I mean, this person is putting $3.9 million on this. 3.978. $3,978,000. And this is just one buyer. So I'm hoping I'm in front of a computer when this actually price point gets to that level to see exactly how she's going to react to it. But yeah, it's going to cause it to stagnate and stay at that price point unless all of them can get absorbed right away. So if there's enough sellers to get rid of that order book on the buy side, then we'll have a better idea of what it's going to do. But if there aren't too many sellers and it stays stagnant for too long at that price point, then more than likely we're going to see a correction to the upside, and he or she probably will not have the whole 2,000 executed. But yeah, that's a huge order at 1989. And here we go, another one. So this has to be the same person. This has to be the same person. So 2,000 at 1989, another 2,000 at 1939. So he's reducing it by $50. Let's see if there's any more. So I'm assuming that's one person with those 2,000 orders. 1670, we got 3,000, but there's 7 people. So I mean, he could be one of them. Who knows? It doesn't really break it down exactly. Out of those 7, how many are looking to purchase a good amount? It just kind of tells you the total amount. But that's a pretty good indication of where the price might kind of fluctuate from. Where it might trend from. So it might trend from that 2100 down to 1989, possibly. All right, so definitely answer that question, and I'm glad you answered that question because I probably wouldn't have looked at the order book into detail that much. But let me see if I can get to some of these comments, and then I will be ending the live stream. Yes, PK. Yes, XRP did go from 13 to 16, and those are significant gains. 23% is significant. So, I mean, I would definitely take that and not hope that it's going to get up above 20 bucks. 23% is pretty good. Because what is it doing now? XRP 1565. So yes, I mean it's corrected. It hasn't corrected that much from its high of almost 16.5 cents. From let's just say 13.5 cents to 16.5 cents. I mean, yeah, those are pretty good gains. What do I think about Dash? I mean, we'll definitely cover that on the next live stream. So I'm going to put that on my list actually. So Verge Dimecoin. I'll cover Dash into a little more detail. I haven't really covered Dash in a while. Actually, I haven't traded Dash at all. Aren't we all long on ETH until end of the year? I'm long on ETH because I'm down so much due to Coinbase's or GDAX debacle. So there's no sense in me selling at a huge loss currently right now because this could be the bottom. So the way I look at it with those 53 Ethereums that I have, it's out of sight, out of mind. I'm not even going to really think about it until actually I see Ethereum price going up. So I'm basically pretending as though I don't even own any Ethereum at the current moment. Why dead cat bounce? Yeah, this is definitely a dead cat bounce, man. I mean, anytime they downtrend and then they bounce up a little bit and come right back down, it's a dead cat bounce, and that's what we've been seeing for the last couple of days. Just continuously downtrending, but having a nice little pop up to the upside, and that's what they're called. They're just called a dead cat bounce. It looks like SegWit is going to be activated. We don't know that for sure. We don't know that for sure at all. I wish that was the case. I mean, if there's positive news out there saying SegWit is going to be activated, I don't think the market would be at its current level where it's at now. I think it would be a lot higher, to be honest with you. I don't think BTC, would be at 2,000. She would be at 2,500 bucks, something to that extent. So there's still a lot of fear. There's still a lot of fear. There's a lot of uncertainty about, possibly segregated witness 2x, user activated soft fork, hard fork. I mean, there's just a lot of crap. Too much crap. Polonius 2383, and yeah, ECS. Thank you for writing that comment out. We are looking for a lot of people that do some research. ONA Rocky Mountain. I don't think you guys are on here, but I definitely enjoy reading some of your comments that you leave on the Slack chat. So thank you so much again for being an active member of the community. Do you have the cash to do that also? I'm trying to, Daniel. I'm trying to see in regards to what question. Okay, so in my crypto market, could somebody create a short squeeze? Yeah, anybody that has a good amount of money can cause a short squeeze, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know what a short squeeze is. It's basically, short sellers are piled in, and then all of a sudden, somebody manipulates the market to get it to go up to the upside, and when the price starts to really grind up, it's going to cause a short squeeze because short sellers are going to be panicking to get out because the price is going up higher. Short sellers want the price to go down. So anybody with a lot of money, so if somebody came in with $30 million and they put a market buy order in at any exchange, just like the guy put in a $30 million sell order on Ethereum at a market level, it's going to do the exact same thing, except for the opposite. Somebody's buying at the market level $30 million worth of Ethereums, it's going to send the price shooting up because it's going to take out everything that's in the order book, and that's when it causes a short squeeze. So yes, anybody can cause a short squeeze to the upside, or even a margin call, stop loss, triggers to the downside. But yeah, very good question. Very good question, Daniel. Do I have the cash to do it? That's a good question. I wish I did. I wish I did. No, I don't have the cash to do that. I don't have the cash to cause any type of manipulation. And if I did, that's not something I would do, to be honest with you. I couldn't sleep with myself knowing that I've robbed people of their money and manipulated the market. Yeah, I couldn't. But yeah, I wish we all had the cash. But yeah, I definitely would not be using it for that purpose, to be honest with you. Yes, a hedge fund, somebody with a deep pocket, multi-millionaires. Yeah, they could easily cause that. Especially if they have an idea, they might not be able to do it on GDAX because they can't see the whole order book, but they can do it on Bitfinex. They can see the whole order book and say, okay, you know what? I have $30 million that I'm looking to buy at the market level. And as long as, Bitfinex allows them to do it and they don't say, oh, no, you can't. You have to buy in increments of $1 million or whatever it might be. Because I know right now if I go to buy, I think it's Litecoin, I can only buy in increments of 10,000 or it was something else where I could only buy in increments of 5,000. So I had to go in and I was putting in lowball offers of 2 cents, 3 cents. I had to go in and put in multiple 5,000, orders in the book. But yeah, if they're able to see the order book and be able to see the whole order book and they can kind of calculate the math and say, okay, you know what, my whole $30 or 30 million that I have is going to take out this much of the order book. And then there's a possibility that it could fall even below that due to stop losses and margin calls and things like that. Yeah, it's easy to do. You bought Dash for 130. Dash is 144 now. So I mean, you're pretty good. Hit touched for a low of 125. I mean, currently in this market, I would not outstay, your trade. I would not overwelcome or overstay your welcome in a trade. If you have profits, be happy with them. How do you get on the Slack chat? So, we are being very selective on who we're choosing to join the Slack chat. But at the bottom of this video, you can, I don't know why our website link is not hyperlinked, but you can just go to cryptotradersroom.com, answer the quick questionnaire, and then it'll send us that response to our Slack channel, and then somebody will review it. And if they think that you're a perfect fit, they will send out an invitation for you or to you. Let's see. Is the Slack chat community different from the Discord chat? We don't have a Discord chat. Any invites available for level 2 members? Level 2 members. What is the level 2 members? And I probably won't be on this live stream to get that response in time. But yeah, we don't have a Discord chat. We have the Slack chat, and I think Slack chat is better. ECS, thank you so much for typing that out. I appreciate it. Dubai Review, welcome, buddy. It's been a while since I've seen you. So what makes me not sell F for 170 or 180? Dude, my entry I never wanted was 317.82. I would have never bought Ethereum at 317.82. My entry was really 250. But GDAX decided, oh, well, if we're going to give you back these funds, we're not going to honor that 250 price point that you basically bought Ethereum at. We're going to go ahead and average you up and say your entry is 317.82. And if I do sell those Ethereums, it means that I am agreeing to those terms and conditions on the refund. And I don't really agree to those terms and conditions on the refund. So that's why I haven't really sold yet, unless I'm going to make my money back with it getting up above 317.82. And I mean, you guys know that I was left with 3.6 Ethereums after the debacle happened. And I sold those 3.2 Ethereums or 3.6 Ethereums because I got them at a purchase price of 250. I sold them at 328. I mean, that was a nice $300 profit. But when they did the recalculation on the refund, they even recalculated those 3.6 Ethereums that I fairly purchased at 250. They calculated them as I purchased them at 318 or 317.82. So really that $300 profit only ended up being a $30 profit. So that's why I haven't sold yet, because then I'm agreeing to those terms and conditions on the refund, and I don't agree to it at all. So. All right, see a couple more comments, and then I'm going to be ending this live stream. And I know I said that a while back, but I'd like to try to get as many comments as I can and not leave you guys hanging if you have a good question to ask. Oh, there's a Discord channel called Crypto Traders Room. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Yeah, that is not affiliated with us at all. I'm gonna have to research that a little bit. Yeah, no connection at all. No associations either. Yeah, possibly piggybacking off our name. But yeah, it's the first time I'm hearing about that. You're running a mining farm and trading is more profitable. Yeah, I mean, depending on your cost of electricity and hardware and wear and tear and all that stuff, I'm sure mining can be profitable, but probably not for a lot of the coins that are out there. No, Henry, I think technical analysis is very important. So is fundamental analysis as well too. Fundamental analysis is very important for long-term investors because it kind of gives them a long-term outlook. But technical analysis is very important because really, I mean, especially if you have the ability to be able to look back in history, you can pick out where the strong resistance, the strong support was, prior to, let's just say 2 months, 3 months, 4 months down, prior to today. So yeah, dude, I mean, technical analysis is very important even in a bear market. I mean, even with segregated witness. All right, guys, I think I got to all the questions. Current levels that we're really looking at, I mean, of course, Ethereum is having a hard time. It's not going to get up to that $200 level, unfortunately. And if it does, it's going to bounce back down. But it's nice that BTC is still holding above, especially on Bitfinex. It's holding above the 2000 LTC 4120. So it's not breaking down after having a nice push up. So we'll see exactly what she does. A lot of times, some of these cryptocurrencies, they do like to touch, and we're looking at BTC USD currently right now, they do like to touch the moving average, whether, you use an EMA or SMA, on the 5 days, 10 days, 50, 100, or 200 days. I've seen a good amount of time, where, especially when they're going up, where they'll touch a 200-day moving average and then kind of break back down. Or if they're way above the 200-day moving average or the 100-day moving average and they're breaking down to the downside, I've seen sometimes where they come touch the 100-day moving average and then bounce right back up. So a lot of traders have different strategies on picking out their entries and things like that, and there are traders out there that will play, especially if something is dipping, they'll play that 100-day moving average or the 50-day moving average, and if it touches the 50-day moving average, that's their entry for a nice bounce up, to get to the 200-day moving average, and then they sell at the 200-day moving average. So, it's very beneficial to kind of pay attention to these moving averages and see exactly where they are, because if they do decide to pull back down, they'll pull back down to one of the moving averages that's hovering below it. All right, guys, thank you so much, or ladies, thank you so much for joining. And I do apologize to anybody new that's coming on right now as this live stream is getting ready to end. But yeah, I usually like to go a little longer than the time stated that I'm going to end it, because I like to try to answer as many questions as I can. But thank you so much for joining. I do appreciate it. Thank you to anybody new to this live stream that's found this live stream somehow, some way. And if you haven't done so already, please click on that subscribe button as well as the post notification. If you find this information helpful, smack that thumbs up, and then stay connected with us on Steemit, Twitter, as well as Facebook, and we are simultaneously streaming this on Steemit. So anybody that's on Steemit, thank you so much. And if you do have any questions, after the fact that this video gets uploaded, feel free to leave a comment. I do my best to kind of get to all the comments as best as I can. There were a couple comments I missed because I just really didn't know how to respond to their question, but I do read them all, and I do my best to respond to them. So definitely, please leave me a comment if you do have a question, and I will do my best to respond to it. But I want to thank everybody for joining. Good start to the weekend. Of course, this weekend was pretty bad, with everything just kind of downtrending. But, maybe this dead cat bounce will actually last a couple more days until possibly, hopefully, midweek or end of the week, and then we'll see exactly what's going to happen. But thank you so much for joining. I do appreciate it. I want you guys to protect those profits. Look for those great entries, and don't be afraid of putting in a low ball entry, because you never know, you'll have the chance of possibly having it executed. So I mean, I have those low ball offers of like at $30 basically. So do I think it's going to get there? Probably not. Does it have a chance to get there? Sure. Anything is possible in this cryptocurrency market. So, but thank you guys for joining. I do appreciate it. Enjoy your day. Until next time, this is Crypto Trader and Crypto Traders Room.